Yeah, pig hunting misadventures, we call it. So me and another young fella turned to run uphill. In that turn, cracked the fibula.
Oh.
And the wasps were just kamikazing me. Dragged myself out. The young fella, it was his first time hunting with us. He was a little towny kid.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the hell was going on. From that, and sort of explain, well, how to sort of save my life, And we'd be riding to jobs with our backpacks on with a saw and a level sticking out. And turn up and just blag our way through it. And the money was just fantastic. And we were just doing little, MDF fitted wardrobes for these people, these ladies in Chelsea and Fulham and stuff like that. My recollection of the 2008 GFC was it was more sudden and a bit more violent than what we've just been through.
So when did you come back to New Zealand, roughly?
2004. Took on a young fella. Well, it was different times. It was ups and downs. Yep. So Smith & Sons came along. 2011, I was cold called, disinterested. But there was just a couple of things that the lady said to me that I thought, I'll go along and see. I've got an inquisitive mind when it comes to those sorts of things, and you often will learn something, even if it's just one meeting, Yeah,
100%.
Smith & Sons, just to give you the story, was born out of GJ Gardner's.
Yep.
And GJ Gardner's still, it's the dominant group housing company, massively successful brand in New Zealand. Hat tip to them and everything that they've built.
So did you buy like a territory? Or
I bought a territory on the shore.
Yeah, cool.
Takapuna. The reason that they'd started it is they'd been doing new homes for long enough that they were starting to get customers coming back saying, can you do the bathroom? We want an extension, all that. And so they were like, well, we've professionalised this group housing thing. We've got good systems going. Yeah. Let's just put that into a renovation company. And so the growth went up to the right, you know what I mean? And I did really well. I was a builder and there was more leads, you know what I mean? So it's getting introduced to more people I could sell. So I was, quite quickly one of the more successful franchises. Well, so you need a point of difference in business, right? Back then we were just, renovation. Well, everyone's a renovation company.
Yeah.
So we moved into design and build. I say renovation, you say, that old test. A lot of people will say nightmare.
Yeah.
The traditional way, and this is where the problems start, is the customer will have some money. They'll want to make some improvements to the house, do an extension, whatever. And so they'll go straight to a draftsman or an architect.
Yes.
Right? That's the traditional way. If you think about drafties and architects, do they know how much these projects cost?
No, they do not.
No, they do not. Not really. Poor old mum and dad are just still naive to this whole thing that's going on, right? But you've just got to understand the incentives. I just feel sorry for those homeowners who keep going into this process, and I feel sorry for builders who keep going into that same game thinking that's how you have to play it, because you don't have to play it like that. And I guess that segues into why we do design and build. Understand, we're builders, we back cost every single project like a religion to us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we can come and see you, and often if it's a simple extension, we can give you some ballparks just on the back lawn. We can say, look, but ballparks are still a bit dangerous. Let's go to some really basic concept drawings.
Yes.
Really basic, but they're scaled concept drawings, and I'll price those up as though I'm drawing them. There's your feasibility study, Mrs. Jones.
Yeah.
Instead of 20, let's spend 5.
Yeah. All right, welcome to an episode of Shed Life. We're talking good people working hard. This one's going to be a good fun. We're talking pig hunting. We're talking about running a successful construction and building business in New Zealand. So we've got Reon Paterson, master franchisor of Smith & Sons, husband, father, good guy, qualified chippy, been in the trade for many moons now.
30 years.
30 years. I got the Waikato Sheds shirt on today because Smith & Sons, Waikato Sheds, we've been working in together. So we're going to be talking about what makes for success in the trades, plus fun stories and just business and building. But welcome aboard, Reon.
Thank you, mate. Good to be here.
Thank you.
To be in the wonderful world of Waikato Sheds, and what is an impressive shed in here. You got podcast studios, you got bloody bar, you got gym. All the awesome offices. It's a wicked place to come.
Yeah, thanks, man.
And thanks for the good intro there. It's not bad.
Oh, but you're out of the moonboat. The last time we caught up, you were in the moonboat. Frida told me you told her a pretty hilarious story of how you ended up in the moonboat. Yeah. I was like, I'll save it for the podcast. So,
pig hunting misadventures, we call it. So, just before I start the story, I don't want to sound out like I'm some hearty pig hunter. I don't have dogs or anything, but my brother-in-law Justin, shout out to Justin, he is a good bushman. So I tag along with him quite a bit, and we've got land in the far north. Mm-hmm. So it was it was meant to be a quiet little hunt on Waitangi weekend, Saturday morning. We weren't on my farm, we were up on the father-in-law's farm over on the neighbours, and we'd just sort of come out of the bush. Nothing was happening, dogs weren't showing much interest, so we thought, we'll just head back to the truck, back into the scrub, into the bush, about 100 metres in. There's 4 of us, and my young fella stepped straight into a wasp nest.
Oh, no.
And in the melee, two of them ran downhill, and me and another young fella turned to run uphill, and in that turn, sort of quick sidestep for a 50-year-old man, cracked the fibula.
Oh.
I didn't know what I'd done when it happened. I just knew, fuck, that hurt bad. And the wasps were just kamikazing me. So I was about...
So how big was the wasp's nest? Was it one of those sort of underground German wasp nests?
All you see is he's 3 meters in front of me, and you just see them swarm up.
Yeah, nice.
Not thousands of them, but hundreds of them, and you just know straight away, and then you get hit on the neck, and and everyone just turns to, excuse my language.
Yeah.
But there was lots of that, and you turn to run, and I was just hopping and crawling and swatting them off, and it wasn't a nice day.
I must laugh at your misadventure.
Yeah. And
so broken fibula and then endless wasp stings. That would be good. So you dragged yourself out of there?
Got away from them, dragged myself out. The young fella, it was his first time hunting with us. He was a little towny kid.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the hell was going on. He probably won't want to come back. But I had to give him the the GPS unit that shows you where the dogs are. I'd give him that and sort of explain, because the other 2 had gone.
Yeah.
How to sort of save my life, go down here and through the paddock and round through that bush, and you'll get to the guys. So he got a couple of electric fence whacks on the way down because he didn't know what they were, and mob of steers chased after him a little bit and freaked him out a bit. But
how old is he?
He's like 16.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it was a bullseye. And luckily it wasn't too far from where they could go and get the side by side and come around and sort of pick me up and off to Kaitaia Hospital.
Yeah.
You're in for a 4-hour wait in there, so I just got some crutches and went back out to the farm. We had people coming out for a barbecue, so I just had a few beers and licked my wounds. And yeah, so I'm 6 weeks into my recovery. I'm still limping around, but back in the bush soon, hopefully.
So what hurt more, the leg or the ego? They're lying there.
Oh yeah, my little girls were all crying and worried about me. The older kids were laughing their freaking heads off at me. Yeah, the wasp stings actually probably the worst for that afternoon. That many of them, you wouldn't want to take 100 of them. It'd probably knock you over.
Yeah, how many do you reckon you got?
I reckon I got about 20.
Dang, nice.
Yeah. The others got bugger all, couple each. Bastards of things. But anyway, that's the pig hunting story right there.
Yeah, any lessons learned from the pig hunting story?
Well, I don't know if you can really avoid them. It's the wasps up there in the summer are pretty bad, eh?
Yeah.
It's not the first time we've been through them. It's just usually you get 1 or 2 stings and you just carry on.
Yeah.
You don't get a broken leg to go with it.
No, the broken leg's a bit of a special gift.
But pig hunting is an awesome sport. Have you done it?
No, I haven't done it.
Oh, mate, it's like... Yeah, some people think it's cruel, and if you want to see an animal like a dog's living their best life, though, they
love it.
Oh, they love it. They're absolutely the best life, and the adrenaline of when the dogs actually bail up a good pig, and you got to run and get in there.
Yeah,
I'm always too slow though.
Yeah,
the bro's always way quicker, and he gets there, and it's all over by the time I get in. I'm just there for the carry.
Yeah, just turn up to observe or manage the project.
Manage, and that's why we take young fellas with us, because then they can do the carry.
Yeah.
I just tell them stories about all the hearty carries I used to do.
Back in the day, I'd have been carrying both of those. Stuck it on.
Get on your back, boy. Yeah, it's good sport, good fun.
Awesome, man. Take us back. Where'd you grow up? How'd you get into building? And just give us a rundown on how did you actually... Maybe this is it for, so many young guys I meet, between sort of 16 I'll say 15, actually, sort of 14, 15 to 20 is they're all like, I'm going to be an apprentice builder. And it's like, I'm not sure New Zealand needs that many builders, but like, actually, you did become a bit, like, how did you do it? What did it take to actually be an apprentice builder, you know, and do it all successfully?
Yep. So just going back a bit, I actually grew up down not far from here in a Tikawiti.
Yeah.
Went to school in a place called Pew Pew.
Yeah.
P10.
P10. Pew pew.
Yeah. Great place to grow up. So lots of hunting and fishing and adventures growing up on the farm down there. And then
what were you farming? Sheep, beef?
There was sheep and beef.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, just out of Waitomo.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Great country life, you know.
Yeah.
Coming up to Hamilton was coming to town for us. It was the big smoke.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
Once a month or a couple of times a month, you'd get to come up and go to the movies or whatever. Simpler times in the late 80s and 90s.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And then I was lucky my cousin was doing a building apprenticeship up in town, up in Auckland.
Okay, yep.
South Auckland. And got an opportunity to go up and trial for them, and then they liked my work ethic. I guess coming off the farm, you sort of knew how to turn up on time and you know, work hard all day. And so did my apprenticeship there, and that was again the 90s. That was 94 to 98. So quite a bit. I mean, it's all the same in one aspect, but in another way, it's quite different. We were still doing a lot of our own stuff back then. You'd concrete your own, you know, do your own simple concreting. You'd do all the insulation for sure. You would do our own easy roofs. We just did everything. Yeah, which is a great way to do an apprenticeship. These days, it's way more subbed out, right, and specialised.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed with the builders these days. It's much more likely to be using a lot more subbies.
Yep.
Which is I quite like shed building actually, because the dudes do it all.
Do it all, yep. And you're a better builder if you can turn your hand to most of it, right?
Did you see much leaky evidence of the sort of leaky homes when you were doing it? Like what sort of projects were you working on? And because that's peak leak.
It's peak 100%. My boss at the time, back then in my apprenticeship, Ron Booker, great old guy, great builder.
Yeah.
I'll never forget, right in the sort of, 92, 93, we're building a place up on Redoubt Road, which is the hill that looks down onto Manukau and down into sort of Otara and all those areas. Yep. And he goes, you know what, when you're my age, you're going to be able to drive around with just a silicon gun, you know, stopping these places from leaking. That's going to be a trade for people. Yeah. And he was and I was just, I didn't really know what he was talking about, but he was literally calling the leaky home crisis, right? Yeah. In his own way. He could see it all happening. He goes, you can't build like that.
Yeah. And what was he describing? Like, for people that don't understand it or might be listening being like, well, you're not putting nails in the roof. Like, describe what was happening that led to this leaky home.
Well, there's lots of fingers pointing that goes on in the industry around who caused it. And a lot of people incorrectly blame the builders. Yeah. It was not dodgy building. No. It was a systemic problem caused by government, top down. So it was actually national government. Went for their laissez-faire, I think they call it in economics, which is the cream rise to the top, deregulate everything. So when you deregulate everything, that brought in no treated timber. Yeah. Any sort of rules and designs went. And so you literally had untreated timber with plaster, like some paper and some plaster over it, and even up around the parapets, and no inspections for all these complicated joints. They started going away from sophites, just every rule that you could sort of break in the design.
Yeah, and so from my understanding of it, and so up until then, New Zealand had been building pretty basic, but good quality stuff. Like everyone knows the villas, the bungalows, the 1950s state houses, legendary in New Zealand for just, it used to be sort of like heart remu, old school, you know, hardwood that lasts forever. And then they started treating it, you know, as well, pine, and pour poison into it and it wouldn't rot. Everyone understood that the best way to fool the water was away from the building, you know, like gables, monos, like
Big soffit, have a big umbrella over it, push the water out. Makes sense.
makes sense. Yeah,
External gutters.
Yeah,
Don't flood it inside.
Yeah, that's it. Think about an umbrella over your house. You know, generally steel roofs, maybe some tile roofs or something. But then, and this is what is, so they pretty much threw out, did they just ignore the building code and what was done? Because that's what confuses me about this is they deregulate, but they get rid of all the good way of building, because it's not like people didn't know how to build in New Zealand. Like, people have been building.
I don't know if they got rid of it intentionally, but I think if you'd look at the housing stock and through all the different eras, there is definite trends, right? Everyone follows each other.
Yes, 100%.
So you drive through suburban Auckland and you can see the 60s trends. You can sort of see the 70s Hartley brick trends. You can see them all. And then I just think this trend of these style of houses, plaster is this new modern look.
Yeah, the Mediterranean type.
Mediterranean.
It was this Mediterranean type villa look, which makes no sense in a soaking wet. You know, we call it subtropical because it's not actually warm and tropical.
They're
but
trying to replicate
wet.
Portugal and stuff where there's 2 mil of rain a year or whatever.
Yeah, that's it. And those, if you actually look at them, they'll be built much more likely with brick. You know, like they're plastered brick. They're not plastered untreated timber in a climate that's pretty much permanently damp.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we were, talking last night. It's like living in Auckland, just permanently damp.
Totally.
You're in a rainforest.
So you're getting this deregulation, this new trend, a new style of building.
Yeah.
People in the councils and stuff who, at the end of the day, don't really know what it's like a building to me. I guess it's fine.
Yeah.
Real poor inspection methodologies and systems of actually doing it equaled, and then a builder wanting to build something and he's getting paid to build it. Who's he to argue? He's got to put food on the table. Who's he to argue whether it's...
Yeah, 100% is...
They're saying build it. Okay, I'll build it.
Yeah, if you're employed to do it, if you're employed to do the job, if the council's approved it, the architect's drawn it...
100%.
The suppliers have said, hey, this is going to be a good product. It's not on the... the builders, as you can say, Ryan can be like, man, this is going to need a silicon gun, but it's...
I don't believe we built any. I can't remember one that I was ever on that would have actually been a leaker.
A true
leaker.
Yeah.
But we certainly saw tons of them around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I suppose just in that is, I wouldn't mind talking, later on we might hit some deregulation, but I think it's so important to be able to follow good practical building code and what works and practical materials that work. It's totally. Just every time I get it, someone knocks on the door trying to sell me the latest new fandangled thing that they're importing and bringing in from overseas, I'm just like, why?
Yeah. We
know what works in New Zealand, especially I'm simple. It's fucking shit. I'm like,
totally.
Give me colour steel.
Yeah. Lasts forever.
It just lasts forever. It's just give me New Zealand steel. Give me some good quality New Zealand timber.
Totally. And there's been lots of products in New Zealand that have failed with our UV, the conditions here. They might have been tested wherever they come from in Europe. Yeah. UPVC joinery was a big one that failed. It started to chalk off and go all brittle.
Yeah.
I think they've fixed that now.
Well, they said it. We still get people trying to flog it or, people get talked into it. I'm like, why do you want to pay twice as much for UPVC? We're not in Germany. Like that's...
Yeah, you got lots of Europeans, English people moving here and they want it.
I know. That's it. They say it all the time. I'm like, if you really want it, we'll put it in. It's on you.
Yeah.
But when you put the price by price, or you can have New Zealand-made aluminium double-glazed joinery for half the price.
And you'll just never stop. People are... trends and the sort of sheeple sort of thing happens and people just all want the latest thing that goes on. And then the regulation, of course, the pendulum swings way the other way. Yeah. And now you can't, you've got to have someone who's unqualified come and tell a qualified guy who's been doing it for 30 years, measure whether his jib screws are the right distance apart around a sheet of jib board. I mean... It's extreme.
Yeah, it is extreme. Yeah, we say
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it. Check how many screws might be in a fly bracing, on a sheet. It's just, or another engineer's inspection when you get two engineers to sign off.
Exactly.
on a simple shed.
Yeah.
You know, like
or a retaining wall, and you've got an engineer's got to come and sign off. And I mean, I think this is changing, but in my time, you'd have the building inspector come and sign off as well, and me.
oh yeah,
I'm signing it off. The engineer's signing it off. Do we really need the council guy to come and sign it off as well?
oh yeah.
Makes it very hard to organise.
Makes it hard to organise, makes it cost more, and then time. All right. So, but the apprenticeship. So, you guys mainly just doing residential?
Yep. Residential, light commercial, some light commercial. Yeah, good aspect of everything. The odd new home.
What was it like going from Tikawiti from the farm to Auckland? What was the big smoke like?
Oh, it was just another adventure. I'd already been, my last year of high school, actually went to the States on a student exchange.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
Colorado.
Oh, yeah, nice.
So that was even more daunting because I'd never been out of the country.
Yeah.
And so for my seventh form year at Pupi College, I flew across, got picked up at Denver Airport, and it was about a 3-hour drive out into the desert to a really small town. I think the population of about 4,000, similar to Tikawiti actually.
Yeah.
And day one into the school, and I'm getting shown around by the headmaster guy.
Yeah.
And it's just like in the movies, you know, the metal lockers and the dudes in the football jackets, and just like all the movies. But the best part about that day, which I'll never forget, I turned up there halfway through junior year and was going to be leaving halfway through the senior year.
Oh, yeah.
And he says to me, well, you're not going to be able to graduate, so just pick a couple of classes and just have some fun.
Yeah, nice.
You know what I mean? I'd just come from like school C and sixth form and full-on homework and all of that stuff, so that was the best.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
And what was it like over there in the States? Like,
well, it just couldn't have been a more different culture to where I'd grown up. Like, it was rural, but rural there is proper cowboys stuff. Like, everyone's walking around in the
cowboy
hats. They're all, even the kids at school are chewing tobacco, spitting into...
Lots of giant pickup trucks.
Yeah, giant pickup trucks. There's big money. I stayed with like 3 different host families. One of them in particular was quite wealthy, big rancher and farmer and stuff.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. I loved it. But it was back, you know, this is in 1994, so there's no internet. You'll call home once every few weeks.
Yeah.
We were sending, so the family would record themselves all talking into a tape and send it to me, post it to me.
That's
you know
so
what I mean?
good.
You know what I mean? So you play it, and
a cassette tape.
Cassette tape.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so good.
Yeah, wire transferring money and postcards from your nana and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
it was different times, but yeah, I got through it. Probably got homesick a couple of times. I can't really remember being particularly homesick. I was having a great time.
Yeah, was it a bit of a change up in the food? Bit of a change from lamb chops and mashed potato?
Well, yeah, so I'm from, you know, going to a country school, catching the school bus every morning. And when I got there's a queue out of the 7-Eleven around the corner from school, and they're all getting these big, not all of them, but a lot of them, enough for it to be a queue, a big chocolate chip cookie in the microwave so it went soggy, and a big gold Mountain Dew, they called it.
Yeah.
And they're smashing this stuff at first thing in the morning, and I've come from Wheat Bix and a bit of Vegemite on toast. You know?
Yeah. Cool.
So, yeah, there was lots of culture shocks like that, and it was just all classic, lots of stuff straight out of the movies that you watched, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. And so who'd you end up with? Were there like the jock groups or the different groups around there?
So again, I'm the foreigner, right? This is a small school. I'm the only exchange student, and I've got a Kiwi accent. I'm more popular than I've ever experienced. You know what I mean? I'm like this new shiny object thing. So I was popular and everywhere. Plus, I didn't have to do any of the schoolwork or homework.
Yeah.
I was just there to have fun. Everyone wanted to take me to their house to show me off to their parents and stuff.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah.
They struggle to understand the Kiwi accent?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And just on the accents, I didn't realise, but obviously you slowly mimic to be understood.
Yes.
And I'm not talking to Kiwis for a year.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like you're on the phone, on FaceTime, holding you into that accent. So I get back, and the families just picks me up from the airport. They're immediately taking the piss out of me.
Oh, well,
stop putting your accent on. I'm like, what accent? I've changed the names of everything. I'm calling the ute the pickup truck, and
Yeah.
And then I get back down to Tikawiti, and I just got mercilessly teased for sounding like a Yank, so I quickly had to get rid of that.
Yeah, I bet. I was, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But that was back in the day, man. It was like Bill Clinton was the president. He was going through his Monica Lewinsky stuff.
Yeah, classic. Yeah, different eras, eh? 90s. Just know that it's well before the wars on terror or any wars or anything was going on. It was all pretty...
Totally, man.
The 90s, yeah. I mean, same, I grew up only a couple of years later, but, like...
Simpler times.
It was just simpler times, I mean, there wasn't, Cold War was over. It was between literally the 90s, you just had this sort of...
nice era.
Yeah, it was just a nice era. It was a nice era to grow up.
Two TV channels.
Yeah. Compared, I suppose over there, though, they must have been full-on MTVs or country music.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So that was a good opener and a good adventure and a good bit of initial sort of independence and,
Yeah. And then that set you up. So then back up into the big AK.
Back into the AK, apprenticeship. And I think probably because I'd had that taste of travel pretty soon after my apprenticeship finished, I was gone again. I just wanted to get it back overseas.
Yeah, cool.
So I went back to the States for a few months and then ended up in London for 5 years.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Yeah, building.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was another eye-opener of...
Yeah, what was that like over there?
Yeah, good. I mean, it was the most fun time of my life in the respect of partying and freedom and, easy money.
Yeah.
Kiwis were, at that time, it was booming over there. So this was just as I guess what we're just talking about, the war on terror was all starting. So I was there when the Twin Towers stuff all went on.
Yeah.
But it was just really easy to get jobs. The money was really easy.
Yeah. Yeah, London and that. For whatever reason, we were talking about Robbie Williams this morning on the way to work.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, London and England, late 90s, early 2000s, was still like a real cultural centre for New Zealand, but for the, for the world, it was still pumping out all the music.
All the music.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Right in that sort of time, actually. It was all the Blur and Oasis, and it was just booming there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone wanted to be there. Especially being a Kiwi chippy, it was the first time you really appreciated having this is where we're going to probably touch into for builders, but having that apprenticeship, right? I'd done it. No one could take it off me.
Yeah.
I was a qualified Kiwi chippy. They were sought after over there because you're just hard workers. You can do anything.
Yeah.
And, money was good. And, we're flatting with friends who'd just finished the uni and stuff like that, T-Cole guys and that.
Yeah.
And they were having to pull pints and do babysitting stuff and, you know, the student debts. And all us chippies had no student debts and we get paid good money. So that was good to see.
And so what did you have to do to get qualified to be? Just walk us through, get the apprenticeship. So you got that on the basis of bit of connections, but predominantly hard work. Like you turn up, you knew how to turn up every day, work hard. And so you did that. So did you have to go to tech in the evenings or something to qualify? Like what actually is, because I don't think most people really understand what does it take to actually become a qualified builder?
Well, it took me just under 4 years to get signed off, and you're going through. So first of all, you have to be given the apprenticeship by the boss.
Yeah.
So you have to get in and take the opportunity, if you can get on a site, to be, you've got it, and having it is attitude. You don't know how to do anything, but it's choosing to never be late, and it's choosing to be enthusiastic, and it's choosing to ask a ton of questions.
Yeah.
Just real simple stuff. It's just choosing to be a good person to have on site.
Yeah.
Yeah. As opposed to not.
Yeah, 100%.
Pretty simple. And then you get your apprenticeship, and you really want to maintain that same
and
ethos.
So with that and that apprenticeship, so obviously the builder's going to be teaching you a bunch of stuff. You're going to be learning how to frame, just all the different parts of building, framing, concreting, and how it all goes together. Who's assessing you?
So I think it's still BCITO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, is that like an ex-builders will be coming in?
Yeah. they're coming on site maybe once every quarter. I can't actually remember. And we had block courses during the year. So I can't remember the deal that I had. I think I didn't get paid while I was on those. So it was like 2 weeks at Carrington Unitech with a whole lot of other loose units.
Yeah, I
You
bet.
can imagine what it was like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you have 3 of those a year, and then you're on site and you're just going through unit standards. Like you're starting off on basic stuff, learning to swing a hammer and
Yeah, cool.
yeah, and it's just slowly going through it, and you slowly absorb it and get more and more competent. Your boss signs you off, the assessor signs you off, and then I think, to be fair on reflection, you at the end of your apprenticeship, most guys still aren't builders. I would say there's not many that are. You could throw any set of plans to and say, "Hey, build this." That'd still be a bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And so there is probably a 2-year period after that where it all sort of comes together.
Yeah.
You know, the pennies drop and you just really can see the whole thing in your mind's eye as you build, and it makes you quicker and better and a bit more precise, you know?
Yeah, cool. Is there anything covering off? Because like over in the US, they call them contractors or the general contractor, which
General
is
contractor, yeah.
they're referring to a builder. And for whatever reason, builders have been at the top of the food chain, or they are the ones that will manage the project. I sort of can understand why. But do they go, hey, this is how you've got to run your Sparky, your plumber, your other ones? Like, did that come up? Because that's the interesting thing I find with builders. If you go to a Sparky, Sparkies just deal with Sparkies, and Sparky stuff, like.
Well, so totally. So in the building trade, you don't really think of this as you go through, and there's no training about anything to do with running your own jobs or business in your apprenticeship. You're just trying to learn the skills. And unfortunately, the brutal truth is the only time you learn that in the New Zealand system is when you start doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the pathway is mostly an apprenticeship. If you're smart, you'll stick around for another couple of years and sort of pay that apprenticeship back to your boss, because you now can actually make him a bit of money.
Yeah.
I didn't really think that one
through.
And learn the whole thing. And then most guys will start to go out. They might go into a bit of labour only for a company like you guys.
Yeah.
And sort of learn a bit about business.
Yeah.
And then slowly mature and grow from there. But that's got a lot of potholes in it, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. All right, well, let's go back to London. I think it was just I just wanted to get it clear for people, as everyone hears words like apprenticeship, became a builder on that, but just trying to give it a bit more, flesh it out for people.
Totally, and we can get into it. That's what Smith & Sons is prides itself on, is helping guys through that.
Yeah. Oh, we'll hit that there, and I want to go through that for people that either Smith & Sons, what I've learned and what I've seen from a different angle of it. But ideally that people can listen to this and either just enjoy the stories, but some people might be like, oh, okay, that could actually help run a better business.
Absolutely.
So you're in London. Do you just out of curiosity, do you take your tools? Do you like pack your suitcase with all your favourite hammer or anything?
Yeah.
Or you just pick up a new one wherever you go?
No, Mum actually did send my tool belt and I think a few power tools got shipped across.
Yeah.
And then you pick stuff up. Yeah, and then we're just working. It's building's building in one respect, but they do run a whole lot of different systems there. It's very much carpenter.
Yeah.
Brickies, builders are more people who sort of run the whole job. Project manage them.
Yeah.
It's just a great time. So many Kiwis and Aussies there, all having the best time of their lives.
Yeah.
Like I say, good money. You could work for a few months, chuck it in, go to Europe, go to Southeast Asia, go on a long holiday, live like a king. And then there was so much work, and I literally did this a few times. You'd text your mate the sort of couple of days before coming back, where's the job? And they'd say, turn up on this job. Straight away, you're working again.
And is that mainly commercial or is it residential as well?
It was all residential for me.
Okay, so there's just
so much.
Like, are they just building huge amounts of townhouses or apartments?
Well, we were in central London, so it was all renovation, refurb work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like Russian Ogby sort of money, or
quite a bit of that. Yeah.
You know, banks to money.
Loft conversions were a huge thing. You know, those Coronation Street type brick houses. Ripping those out, putting, you know, extra stories on top of them, and just small renovations. And actually, so me and a mate, back then it was a 2-year working holiday visa. It wasn't policed at all. You weren't supposed to do your trade.
Okay.
And you weren't supposed to work full time. But of course, we did our trade and worked full time.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice.
But then that brought us to 3 years of we were not ready to go home.
Yeah.
So that was actually the first time I went into business for myself. With me and a mate, Richard Sullivan, who's a pretty successful guy over in Sydney now. We started Two Guys Construction. So printed out these brochures.
Yep.
We were on mountain bikes.
Oh, nice.
And we just started putting, you know, Two Guys Construction, Kiwi Chippies, and just listed out all the work we'd do.
Yeah.
Posting them through the front door, you know, mail flap of these English houses, the rich suburbs.
Yep.
Just did that a few afternoons. Then this is because we were overstaying, right?
Yeah.
It's so far along ago, I'm not going to get arrested for telling the story now.
Statute of limitations.
Yeah, exactly. And threw these flyers out and went home, and then, what do you know? Phone rings.
Yeah.
And we're like literally like sitting there watching TV, and look, we've actually we're quite busy. We've got a job. There's a bit of a gap the next couple of days. We can be there in the morning. Running our bikes around. Yeah, and it just started like that. And that was learning marketing and learning how to price things. And
so you and Richard, visas run out. Did you guys just want to try something different, or did you just thought,
well, it's like got complicated trying to work for someone when you haven't got the right paperwork. So it's by force, I guess.
Okay, necessity. So by force. So you're not even. So you're certainly not ticking up a Ranger or a Hi-Ace or something.
Nothing
so you're
like that.
literally
We're on bikes.
You're on bikes.
We got to first of all, we got to a little. It was called the Rascal. A little, you know, those Suzuki vans, those real tiny ones. We went to one of those, and then we eventually got to an Escort, like panel van.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. But just for people is, you guys are there, you needed to make it happen. So you just got some brochures printed, just flyer dropped, mountain bikes, rode your bikes.
Yep. And we'd be riding to jobs with our backpacks on with a saw and a level sticking out, and turn up and just blagging away through it. And
yeah, nice.
But the money was awesome.
Yeah, the van's in the workshop or something.
Yeah. And the money was just fantastic. And we were just doing little, you know, MDF fitted wardrobes for these people, these ladies in Chelsea and Fulham and stuff like that.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so much fun, yeah. And it was our first foray into learning business. And, you know, I've come back to New Zealand and gone my way, and he's done real well for himself in Sydney.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I would take that as I have a bit of a thing of marketing and business is people. A key to the success is people need to, I used to say they need to like you, trust you, and then they'll do business with you. But I actually put it even more important in the front. They need to know you exist.
Yes.
And then they need to like you, then trust you, and then they'll do business with you. Yep. And so you guys hit it out of the park as number one. If they don't know that these two guys are out there, how are they ever going to get in touch with you? And so many people in business and just all things are just sitting there waiting for the phone to ring, the email to arrive.
They're the guys who, no, I don't need to do advertising.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
There's a lot of them in New Zealand.
Oh, yeah, most businesses.
Yeah.
You know, so, yeah, and then you get, number one, you got to get it out, get the name out there, then be likable, you know?
Yeah. I'll never forget the first time the phone rang. I just couldn't believe it. It was amazing. I was like, oh, this obviously is going to work.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's awesome. Cool. So what brought you back home?
Well, so 5 years over there was enough. You know?
Yeah.
You're living, well, not living rough, but you're living in flats and living in, there's lots of partying going on.
Yeah, 100%.
Every night's a Friday night for some people over there.
Yeah.
And you're sort of ready for the next adventure. So it was home and into business, straight into business for myself, you know, back into sort of getting my head around the New Zealand game.
Yeah. So when did you come back to New Zealand, roughly?
2004.
Okay, yeah.
Yep, 2004. Went to Sydney for a year. Mm-hmm. Quite a few mates were there. That was too hot for me.
Yeah.
I just couldn't deal with that heat.
Yeah. Yeah, people never talk about that. There's, it's that constant move to Australia. It seems real attractive in July.
Yeah.
But there's a huge amount of time where it is just killer hot over in Australia.
And you're outside, and a lot of mates are there, and they love it, and they've got used to it. But boy, oh boy.
Yeah. I think New Zealand has some pretty ideal temperature. Okay, cool. But yeah, good times, good economies.
Good economies, yep. Back to New Zealand. Took on a young fella. Well, it was different times. There was ups and downs. Mm-hmm. Worked through till 2011.
So just how did you set that up? So you've done the classic, you come from the farm, you got the apprenticeship, done that, mainly OE, done the OE. You roll back into New Zealand and think, I'm going to do the same thing as London, print out some flyers, business cards.
Pretty much, or doing the, copying what everyone else does.
Yeah.
In Auckland. So I settled down with my first partner, the mother of my girls, and we built a house, and just blagged my way into things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was pretty good at getting repeat customers and worked for a guy, and then wasn't really doing advertising. Mm-hmm. Not really. Had a Rodeo Ute, had that sign written, and had some business cards, I think.
Yeah.
I just appreciated networking. I might have done some little bits of flyers. I can't really remember.
But you mainly just relied on being likable.
Yeah.
And then doing a good job.
Exactly.
So they trusted you, and then they talked to people, and then just the business.
I've always been pretty good at sales. You know?
Yeah.
And I still love that part. That's my favourite part of business is the selling. We can talk about that.
Yeah.
And you get into some big renos and, have lots of learning curves, which I've taken into what I do now.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, and then so that brings me up to sort of Smith & Sons. Mm-hmm. And that was 2011.
Yeah, how was the GFC for you?
Yeah, so the GFC was in there. Well, that was definitely noticeable. I can remember it, but I was just had my apprentice. So it was just me and the apprentice, and, work would come into a few days. Mm-hmm. But I didn't have overheads or anything, so it wasn't that bad. You sort of knew it was going on, definitely.
Yeah, but you're able to just keep pushing through. And
my recollection of the 2008 GFC was it was more sudden and a bit more violent than what we've just been through. Mm-hmm. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I just noticed as it was like 2007, it was all just pumping along. Everything was going gold. You had these... It's ages you realise as you get older. But you had all these Geneva Finance doing home loans on every corner where you got a vape shop now.
Yeah.
Everywhere there was a vape shop, there was a mortgage loan lending shop.
South Canterbury Finance.
110% mortgages and that. But property was still sort of cheap. It seemed expensive then comparatively, particularly I was in Auckland at the time. In Auckland and that it was still... I suppose people, probably half as much as they do now, but, anyway, it was, and then that suddenly just dried up.
Yep.
But it didn't.
It seemed like there was a lot more repossessions, and I remember there was a big yard down by Penrose there with lots of repossessed diggers and trucks and stuff just sitting there. I haven't seen any of that this time. It seems more slow and seems a bit slower this time.
I think they learnt in terms of the banks, and that is last time they just choked it off.
Yeah.
Which maybe got it over with quickly as they just cut finance to a lot of people, a lot of developers, a lot of people fell over straight away.
That's right.
But also on the farming side, because that happened a few years later, is they learned, hey, no, it's actually better just start at the very worst, the people that haven't paid their tax in 5 years, they're just the absolute dogs,
Switch them
off and just do it and then clear them so you don't collapse the market. That seems to be happening at the, but then that's also been the case right now, 2026 is we're watching that unfold with liquidations, but that's because the tax department wasn't going after anybody for 5 years.
And then they start to.
And that's what's...
So 750 last year in our industry.
Yeah. Yeah, it's... I don't want to see anybody fail, but I also don't want to be competing against people that don't pay tax.
No.
I don't mind paying tax. I I don't mind paying tax. I disagree with what
hate
my
paying
tax is
tax.
spent on.
I'd
So
happily pay it if I got good services for it.
that's the thing. So I get, but
I think it all comes
but
back
I don't
to
like competing again. I don't like competing, or I don't like reading those articles and seeing those people where they haven't paid tax in 7 years, and you're just like, well, that you're just undercutting.
Totally.
It's like because there's the normal tax, but within that, you'll find that they haven't been paying their buddy employees, KiwiSaver, and all of these other things going on.
And you'll also from there see that they have no systems and no understanding of the imperativeness of profit. You have to be profitable. Yes. And going back to what I said earlier, the system is not going to change in New Zealand. The system is just take construction, apprenticeship, maybe a couple of years. You can just literally go online and start up RP builders.
Yeah.
I'm in business. I'm away.
Yeah.
There's no checks and balances in there on hang on a second, you have to go through this course or understand.
Yeah, do you actually have an accountant?
Do you understand margin? And when you go into business from that position, you're all about, I call it the builder's mindset, not a businessman's mindset. And you're all about hourly rates and minimum and competing on price. And
yeah,
you're probably on most, or not most guys, but a lot of guys are on a ticking time bomb to go out of business.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. But so you guys started, you get through, it's just you and an apprentice. When did Smith & Sons come along?
Yeah, so Smith & Sons came along 2011. I was cold called, and like if I tried to cold call someone, Chippy now is working on site. I was disinterested, but there was just a couple of things that the lady said to me that I thought, I'll go along and see. I've got an inquisitive mind when it comes to those sorts of things, and you often will learn something, even if it's just one meeting,
Yeah, 100%.
And so I went along to that, and I was driving there, not very interested, but I drove away sort of quite interested, and Smith & Sons, just to give you the story, was born out of GJ Gardner's.
Yep.
And GJ Gardner's still, it's the dominant group housing company, massively successful brand in New Zealand. Hat tip to them and everything that they've built.
Was there ever an original GJ Gardner, or was it just a mate?
Yeah, Greg Gardner. Yeah, I know him pretty well.
Okay, cool.
He's in Australia.
So
it's an Australian business.
Yeah.
And I could just see, and you still see it now, industries sort of coalesce around bigger brands.
Yeah.
You see it in...
We're seeing it within our industry for sure.
Yeah. Yep. You see it in, aged care, probably things. There's this bigger brand start to dominate. So I could see that. I was right at a crossroads of thinking I need to get a website. I didn't have one of those, and stuff like that. And it sort of ticked all those boxes. And it was probably a month later. I was actually on board with them. I thought, I quite like the appeal to me of being in a group of other guys doing the same thing, because it can be lonely out there.
Yeah.
Builders will meet at the pub on a Friday night, but they all bullshit each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
It's hard to see it and I indulge it. I might laugh at it.
Yeah. So it can be lonely in those respects. There was enough there that appealed to me. So I got on board on the North Shore.
So did you buy like a territory?
Yeah, I bought a territory on the shore.
Yeah, cool.
Takapuna. And that was 2011. They'd started in 2008, and it was and the reason that that started it is they'd been doing new homes for long enough that they were starting to get customers coming back saying, "Oh, can you do the bathroom? We want an extension, all that." And so they were like, "Well, we've professionalised this group housing thing. We've got good systems going.
Yeah.
Let's just put that into a renovation company." And so the growth went up to the right. You know what I mean?
Nice.
But that's where the problem started for the business, and there was a few things that were going wrong. The fundamentals were the systems that they had for GJs were not going to ever work for or not at that stage anyway, for a renovation company. And so it was not systemized. So there was lots of people going around in circles. And the worst one was they were just, and they do this in franchising, just sell a franchise to anyone.
Yes.
Yeah. There's other franchises similar to us who still do that.
Yeah.
We're builders only, as you know. So I got on board in 2011, and I did really well. I was a builder, and there was more leads.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's getting introduced to more people I could sell. So I was, quite quickly one of the more successful franchises. I actually enjoyed the lack of systems because I was happily trying to help build them, and what about this? Let's do it like this. You know, it's crazy times looking back on it. But then the master franchise at the time in Auckland, he was just continuing to sort of use me as the sort of poster child to sell these franchises to these guys that were just never going to work.
Yeah, so they were using an example of a really cheerful, really, cheerful farm boy turned into a good quality chippy that's been around, almost the world, building. Had an apprentice, started, given a bit more systems and marketing, and say, hey, mum and pop, I don't know, cafe owner, teacher, truck driver, you could be just like Reon.
Yeah.
And you're like, not really.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And for those that, like, maybe listening who, maybe don't quite understand the industry, it's probably a good time to point out that renovations, I would argue that renovations are the most complicated.
Yes.
Yeah. So the building industry, think of civil construction, high-rise construction, commercial construction, but then sort of put a circle around residential construction. And within that, there's new homes. Well, a new home's or a new shed. It's a military operation, right?
Yes.
We dunk, 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 dunk. It always goes through the same order. And because it's a military operation, you can scale. You can systemize and scale. You know what I mean? GJ's up in Rodney, they build 120 homes a year when it's booming. And because you can scale like that, it actually is better if you're probably not a builder and more of a business person's mindset. But you're making a big mistake if you think you can do that in the renovation space for a number of reasons. Like we touched on before, the housing stock, drive around.
Yeah.
All so different. Think about a non-builder franchise owner walking onto a site and they see people working. They hear saws going and hammering and stuff, and they just think, well, it looks good. And they go back to the office. But me as the builder walking in there, I'm constantly trimming sails and like, what the hell are you doing? That's not good. We need to change that. Let me double check this measurement. No, the plumber's got that wrong. Constantly sorting out issues. Well, those two differences equal big problems at the end, obviously. Yeah,
100%. And even just touching on one of them is the difference between being able to price new comparative to price renovations is with new, outside of sometimes the soil report, but even then you can get a soil report and go, okay, how much have we got to dig out? What are we going to lay the slab? Is we sat here as we price down to the last nut, bolt, rivet, and so we know exactly what's going to be going. Exactly what's into the recipe. Whereas in a renovation situation, you've turned up and somebody's already baked the cake, 10 years ago or 50 years ago or 100 years ago. You've got no idea what is behind that wall. And then you've got to coordinate, I suppose. You've still got to coordinate all the trades on new build or a new shed, but it's more stepped out or more like, hey, we know that if this happens here, this happens there. There's a lot less unknowns. That can be the case. So, back to that.
Yeah. And so anyway, it was really going round in circles there. These guys were paying to join. They were cannon fodder, and it just sort of, at the start I was happy to help, but then it seemed immoral to me.
Yes.
And the customers were getting the runaround too, which was affecting my brand. And so it was 2014. I was just like, I'd learned a lot and loved it, but I just said to them, look, I'm no hard feelings, but I'm out. I'm going to go back to doing what I was doing. This is just going around in circles.
How many guys did you have at this point? Like, what sort of team were you running?
Well, I had offices on Barry's Point Road.
Yep.
And I had a project manager, QS, office admins, a reasonable size, and all the teams out on site.
Yeah. Oh, just to give people an idea. So multiple office staff plus subbies on site plus.
But even then, I still had and was not really getting led to understand systems and what my overheads were as a percentage and all these things I'm hot on now, back costing and all sorts of stuff. I was just good at signing the work up, and we're making money, and it was all good. But anyway, when I said I was out, that's when the corporate office in Aussie rang me up and said, "Look, would you consider working for us? Don't leave. Help us, get the wheels on the bus in New Zealand," and started doing a bit of stuff in Australia, and so they agreed to the changes that I wanted to make. Yep. We had to make some changes around some of the fee structure and the way that was built, and going to a design and build, having a point of difference. At that point, we were really competing with all the other builders out there.
Yeah.
And I can get into our design and build, but that's probably the best piece of system that I'm proudest of is that system.
Yeah, well,
it works for customers.
And otherwise we'll miss it out. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. So you need a point of difference in business, right?
Yes.
And back then we were just renovation. Well, everyone's a renovation company.
Yeah.
So we moved into design and build. And again, if you think, like for a lot of people, if you say to them, I say renovation, you say, that old test, a lot of people will say nightmare.
Yeah.
And that still happens to people all the time out there. And it was happening in Smith & Sons. But there is a reason for that. And I think this is important for clients out there to understand. Yeah. Customers who are wanting to take on a big renovation. So again, if we go back, focus on renos, and sort of put, let's go 200,000 plus renovations. Bigger, they need a building consent, right up to $1 million, $2 million, whatever. The traditional way, and this is where the problems start, is the customer will have some money. They'll want to make some improvements to the house, do an extension, whatever. And so they'll go straight to a draftsman or an architect.
Yes.
Right? That's the traditional way. If you think about drafties and architects, do they know how much these projects cost?
No, they do not.
No, they do not. Not really. I mean, there's the odd one out there. I don't want to get hated on here, who probably takes a good interest in back costing of projects and talking to the builders, but most do not.
I will get the hate. I have yet to come across one.
Yeah, they just don't know.
We have done hundreds of projects, commercial, residential.
Yeah.
They say they do. They have. I've yet to come across any that generally understand what the costing is.
Yeah, exactly.
The difference between low E gas in a double glazed window, or thermally broken joinery, or UPVC joinery, a riprap slab to a standard 665 mesh slab,
Exactly.
Colour steel comparative to aluminium, comparative to vertical cedar cladding, to shiplap, and we're in a simpler side of it, but I just honestly haven't come across it. I work with tons of good guys and girls that draw practical stuff, good stuff. They understand the H1 calcs, they understand the building codes, but they are not quantity surveyors. Like, it's just, they sell their plans, they sell their time.
That's right. It's the incentive.
It's the incentive, but they're not accountants, they're not quantity surveyors, they're not builders. Yeah, you've got to be in the thick of it. Even if they were a builder 5 years ago, 10 years ago, even 2 years ago, the price points changed dramatically.
Totally. So it gets worse, right? So this is so mum and dad decide they'll go and see, their friends use blah 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 architect. Yeah. So they go off to see the architect. Architect comes in, they get there. Well, this is what we'd like to achieve, and they're sort of going on. Do you know how much it'll cost? They might talk to a couple of builders, but probably there's no idea really, and they're spending. I mean, it varies hugely, but they could easily spend 20 grand on the working drawings, right? Then their natural thing is, well, we've got to get a good price. So they tender those drawings out to 3 builders. So now they're 3 months in, 20 grand down.
Yes.
And now they're going to wait for another, let's say, 6 to 8 weeks while the builders dilly-dally around and price them. Now, again, focus on the incentives. What are those 3 builders' job now? To win the work.
Yes.
It's not to give the full blown picture necessarily.
No.
It's got to be win the work. And poor old mum and dad are just still naive to this whole thing that's going on, right? But you've just got to understand the incentives. So the builders will, okay, I'm competing with Tom and Dick. I'm Harry. I got to get that margin down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to let's some examples. You know, there's an extension on. I can see definitely that whole original house is going to need re-roof, which means an edge protection right round and those feet and everything. I ain't mentioning that because those other guys aren't going to mention that either.
Yeah.
I'm only doing what it says on the plans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm also going to use, it's a wealthy, you know, I don't know, we're a nice neighbourhood.
Yeah.
It's going to be expensive bathrooms and full tiles, but it doesn't say anything on there, so I'm going to PC sum. PC sum's a lazy building trick if you're not careful to just put an allowance in.
Yeah, it stands for provisional cost, which it's realistically a guess. And from my experience of dealing with people that PC sum, it's always, if you know that something should cost between 5,000 and 15,000, the PC sum will be 5,000.
Mm-hmm.
It's just my experience in the trade and just calling it as it is from what I've seen with it.
We try to eradicate them from our projects.
Yeah.
And so I'll get onto that. But poor old, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Jones over here are still naive to all of this. They're waiting.
Yeah.
The prices come back. Oh, and this is what can happen. They're either, oh my God, we can't afford this.
Yeah.
And you've wasted 20 grand. And I'll give an example of a real life one I was involved in Birkenhead. They spent 70 grand. Very expensive architect.
Yeah.
A complicated resource consent. Builder consent. They went the whole 9 yards. Tenders came in. We're all around the same 700. They ditched it and sold.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Yeah. I'm just going to get more hate because why not?
This is the problem in our industry, right? It's bad.
It's a problem in the industry. It's a problem in New Zealanders. People just don't tell the truth. For clarity is architects, charties, I've seen the price difference can be 10 to almost 100x. I can get basic bathrooms drawn for $700 and then I can see them 7,000 to 70,000. So you're talking 10 to 100 times more.
Yep.
For fundamentally no difference in the plans. I've seen this so often with shed houses. So, and then they will say you need full working drawings and they will try and spec everything down based on what they like. And this is the real trouble is the Mr. and Mrs. Jones, the clients, they turn up to whether it's us, you, or any builder and go, here's the plans. I paid, you know, they often won't say, I paid 20 grand, but, you know, like they're paid for it. And we know we have to read the plans. So you're like, oh, okay, that's an interesting roofing line. Oh, okay, that's okay, if that's what you want.
Yeah.
So you go down and you find all these weird products that these guys have seen because they've gone to an architect's evening. And all the suppliers wine and dine the bejesus out of architects. So they're just...
Yeah.
There's just this endless industry of sending them to conferences to get specced into the build.
Yep.
And that's what it is when people say, oh, it's been specced into the build. So they'll write it in there. So the client's like thinking, oh, I'm going to go to the tile warehouse and choose my tiles. They'll have 9 times out of 10 already written down some fancy ass Italian tiles or something. So all of these get priced into the build. Yeah. And at this point, like, so it's just being super wary of just the plans and that. Yeah, I've just seen, we've spent years, as we used to do this with shed houses, refer to a few different firms, or because we weren't doing the plans, we weren't doing it, and we didn't sell any because the architects would always just draw ginormous cathedral windows.
They draw way off spec,
Way off spec. They're always like, oh, wouldn't it be nice? And if you ask a Kiwi, wouldn't it be nice for a little bit of horizontal cedar cladding around that? Kiwis love grand design.
Yeah.
They'll be like, yeah, it would.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would. And then they will ask, oh, do you think it's... Nah, it'll be fine. Yes, I just can't reinforce enough that it's just being so careful.
So careful. And that's why it's a complicated one to to warn people of. But there's the scenario of ditching the plans that you've spent 20 grand on. No one wants to do that. But then let's go carry on this hypothetical with Mr. and Mrs. Jones that they choose the middle price and they get into the project, right?
Yeah.
The guy's been under pressure to price. He's done lots of guesstimating and, maybe he's not that accurate on his PC sums and he's missed out the roof and everything. Well, all of those situations are going to start to show themselves as soon as you start getting into the project.
Yeah.
This is why you get cost blowouts.
100%.
You've set off these guys against each other. They've had to leave things out. This is industry rife. And you'll get cost blowouts on the project, making it horrible, stressful, adversarial relationship between builder and homeowner.
Yeah, and can we just think about this for a second? Because everybody likes to get paid for the job they do, right? Is architects getting paid 20 grand? They've already taken all of their money for plans that are probably could go straight into council for consent without, is this really a... Is then why would three builders be expected to all work for free? I mean, how many hours to price up? I do it, but that takes... Not only is the builder going to spend, I don't know, half a dozen to a dozen hours, at least pricing that up, they're going to ask all their subbies and suppliers for a price for it.
Yep.
So there's thousands of dollars across probably 3 different firms, only one of whom's going to get the work. So then, to a degree, you're incentivizing them to either undercost, do a rough job on it, because... Yeah, you're
incentivizing. Yeah, you're setting yourself up as the homeowners to fail going down that process.
Yeah,
100%. They shouldn't be pricing it for free.
No.
And before they even start, they should be eyeballing it. If you've got some experience, you can look at it and go, look, that's a 500k job. Is that what you're expecting? Oh, heck no.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not. Good luck.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah. I just feel sorry for those homeowners who keep going into this process, and I feel sorry for builders who keep going into that same game thinking that's how you have to play it, because you don't have to play it like that. And I'm not the only one who says that.
No.
There's plenty of good people in the industry who preach this stuff, and I guess that segues into why we do design and build, right? Mm-hmm. Understand, we're builders, we back cost every single project like a religion to us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we can come and see you, and often if it's a simple extension, we can give you some ballparks just on the back lawn. We can say, look, but ballparks are still a bit dangerous. Mm-hmm. Let's go to some really basic concept drawings.
Yes.
Really basic, but they're scaled concept drawings, and I'll price those up as though I'm drawing them. There's your feasibility study, Mrs. Jones.
Yeah.
Instead of 20, let's spend 5.
Yeah.
If it's not a goer, not too,
Yeah. But for that $5,000, you've got the design that you want, you're working with the builder and the costing.
Yeah, exactly. You're just massive,
from someone
massive
that's
chance to de-risk.
fundamentally incentivized to build it.
Yep.
As well.
Yep, totally. And then once we go from those concept drawings, then they go, okay, we're confident to spend the working drawings, that 15,000 more, say, and council, another $7,000, say.
Yeah.
And then before we go spade in the ground, this is a saying we have in Smith & Sons, every known unknown must be known.
Yeah.
You have to say it to yourself a couple of times. And what every known unknown is, okay, I've estimated the plumbing based on plumbing rates.
Yeah.
Plumber, mate, come, let's have a look at these plans. Let's go on site. Quote.
Yes.
Okay? Drain layer, all of those subbies. Every known unknown, I don't like using PC sums, so I've used standard Smith & Sons inclusions, mid-range, that Myco stuff, all of that, all our mid-range flooring, tile warehouse. Mr. and Mrs. Jones, come to Myco's.
Yeah.
Look, touch, feel at all of the stuff. Mm-hmm. No, I want those ones there. Change.
Yeah.
Every known unknown has to be known before we start. And why that's so important for the homeowner is if we've estimated over here it's 500 and we've got to before we start and it's 560, we haven't touched your house.
Yeah.
It's not too late.
Yeah.
I'd rather have that, right?
Yeah.
We pride ourselves on keeping these things pretty good, but you would rather have that. Imagine the dramas when you've got to go and find 60 or 100 or 150 and half the house is missing.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
People have divorces over this stuff. It's just you know what I mean? So every known and known before we start the project, and that just helps a much more efficient project, because we're not waiting for Mrs. Jones to choose her tiles and then she chooses one there's this 4-week lead time on, and everything goes much smoother. So that's why design and build, and we'll get to the end, and it's most often, not always, but because it's renos, you're working people's houses, so I can't say it's always, but most often the customers are happy with it. It's been smooth riding, because that whole myth that builders can play on in the renovation thing is we don't know what's behind that wall. It's never that bad. Like that is an unknown that we're not going to be able to tell until we rips things out, but you want it just down to that.
Yeah. And you can figure it out. You can be on site if you can spend it. Even going back to that, from a client's point of view and from a builder, you think about it, you've charged some money, you've got some basic working drawings done that you've got some control over with the client, so you're actually talking the same language where you're speaking the same thing. Then you go and get the known unknowns, but you go and ask your subbies, your suppliers for a price. You know this job is much more likely to go ahead.
It's locked. All our subbies throughout the country that run in this system, they are happy to turn it aside. They know where the jobs all go.
100%. We do the same thing, which is why we've become so aligned at Waikato Sheds, is we'll be like, if somebody wants a price on a shed, especially just normal shed suite, we'll give you an estimate, shed house, whatever. We'll work it, we'll give you a ballpark figure that we're generally 95% confident with it, because we know what we're doing. We're also building it from you. We don't know what the soil and the ground conditions are, but if you tell us where you are, we can make an assumption based on it.
You're mitigating those prices as much as you can,
If that works, hey, either we're going to quote if it's a simple one, but if it's a shed house or commercial, let's get a bit of a working drawing done. If there's nothing there, then we're going to all our subbies and suppliers and going, let's lock the price. So then when we sign up that contract, we're like, hey, unless the council or the engineers, someone does something, and we'll be completely upfront with it, that price is good to go. Lock it in with the bank.
And this is my biggest passion in the industry, is for builders. This went viral on Luke Kemi's podcast, but chippies, builders who are running big projects, renovations, you have to find the job, win the job. It's black belt knowledge of all the subbies. The roofer doesn't know about building, but you've got to know about roofing and flashings, and you've got to know about sparking. You've got to know about all that stuff. You've got to nurse the customer through the whole thing, right? You've got to build it superbly. It's really complicated and stressful, and then your name is hanging over the front door for 10 years with all the liability. You've got to make profit. You've got to be profitable.
Yes.
And when you're profitable, you can enjoy your life. I meet profitable guys every day. They're happy.
Yes. Yeah.
And your customers will be a pleasure to deal with, because you're making money. And message to Mr. and Mrs. Customer, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, who we're just talking about. It's not necessarily that you have to use Smith & Sons, but get a builder involved. If you're going to spend big money on a renovation, find a good builder and pay him to help you through it.
Yes.
Even if he doesn't facilitate the design and build like we do, pay him to price some concept drawings for you. Pay him to do it. And let him nurse him through it, and make sure you want a profitable builder building your property. You do not want someone who's insolvent.
No.
And these people are trying to screw these chippies down.
You do not want to be. That's the thing, is you want somebody. It's easy to find out whether someone's charging a reasonable price point. I mean, you could literally chat GPT out. Is this fair? I've done it with our pricing, and it's so. But if you're trying to get the cheapest, it's like I said all the time, like, man, all those tiny house people, do you want to be the person? Open the papers, stuff NZ Herald every day of the week. Is there is another fucking cowboy shyster that has gone and run away with people's savings, who's gone and said, hey, I'll do you that kitchen for $100,000. I need a $30,000 deposit for, pay the last guy's supply, and then it's suddenly I need the material, it's just deal with it. You could, even if you wanted price, you could, as we said, instead of spending 20 grand with an architect, spend the money with the builder. They'll have a drafty that they'll work with that they can trust that'll be way lower cost. I can guarantee it. As you can always take those plans in that quote, you can take the number off it, you can take the thing and just get it to check it if you really wanted to. You know, like I know that that happens, and then it's sort of fine. There's nothing actually wrong with getting a couple of prices. Like,
but the way we do it with our design and build, where there's no, it mitigates the cost blowouts. I know the margins of the guys, and they're just industry standard. But the other way, where the guy tendered for it, missed a whole lot of stuff out, it's going more expensive than what we are.
Yeah,
all builders know this. It happens all the time.
Yeah, 100%. It's just...
But Mr. and Mrs. Jones and Mr. and Mrs. Owner, they're naive. Mm-hmm. They're not... I don't think they just think that's the process you have to take.
You also... And if you're a good person, and we all want to just work with good people, and you're not going to try and screw somebody over, it's just find a good builder that you can trust and like as well.
Totally.
And just be like, you want them to do well. You want to be able to run them to them in the community and that. And it should be a long-term working relationship, not an adversarial, I got one over on them, I never paid the final, you know?
No way. He's a professional. He's got hungry mouths to feed. Yeah. He wants a nice life. He needs the profit to build your project. You know, and it's easy to do a bit of due diligence on guys. Like people get fixated on looking at the lovely photos, but you can easily go up and ask, you know, where you know, you're at Placemakers, and is he paying his bills on time? And it's not hard to ask a few questions around town. And
100%. Yeah.
If you're not paying his bills on time, I wouldn't want him.
No, not at all. So, I mean, that's it. Do a bit of due diligence. What are they on social media? Do they support anything locally? I mean, that's a big one for, you know?
Yeah,
do they support any local teams? Are they a part of the community? It's not to say that people that have only just started up are bad, but, you know, just look at the track record of it, especially the more money you're likely to spend with them. Is look, if they've just been in business for 6 months, well, okay, is it because he's 26 years old and he's just finished his apprenticeship and he's come out and you're like, okay, I'm giving a young guy a start this, and you're like, okay, that makes sense. But if he's 46 years old, you know,
he's been around a while.
He's been around a while, and his business is only new. Well, what was he doing before?
Yeah.
How many times have they rinsed
it's all
and
in the
repeat
disclosure
this?
Statement.
Yeah, is because I look at these cowboy builders that are across the country, whether they're doing kitchens, swimming pools, houses, sheds, all of it, and it's a rinse and repeat model.
Yeah.
This is generally never their first time round, and sure, some people have it tough and they come back, but if you're wanting to protect your investment, is just see what, you know.
Yeah, and that's because these guys are just seeing the cash. They're not understanding where's the profit, where's the overheads, where's the cost of the job, and then as that money goes into their accounts, how to manage that cash. They've got no systems in whatsoever. It's literally just shoot from the hip business.
Yeah. So good segue back. So you're running Smith & Sons for the corporate head office. What sort of systems and what did you ask to put in place to actually ensure that this was a successful model?
Well, the biggest one was we have to go to builders only.
Yeah.
This is renovations, obviously, from what I've all just said. My passion's builders, love the industry, and I love helping guys understand and learn all this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of it's you complement them with systems, but it's a mindset thing as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we went builders only. We went and really went to that, you know, we're a franchise, but you'd get a totally different experience at every office around New Zealand back then.
Yeah.
We got to go to a mixed Smith & Sons system. Yeah. So that's what the design and build process pretty much is. Tidied up with Joe, my partner, tidied up the back end systems of how the office administrators do things.
Yeah.
So we could really see the data properly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you're comparing offices to offices, you've got to be comparing apples with apples. Her and Di did a great job of that. Builders only, moving that marketing to specifically design and build. I knew we'd always get the bathrooms and kitchens and all the other stuff. And then just a real laser focus on profitability.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to have, I won't be flying around New Zealand seeing these guys. I want them to be pleased to see me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you pay fees in a franchise, and those fees have got to be adding value.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were the main things. And we changed software at that time. There was we redid the whole thing almost. Slowly had to get rid of a bit of, let's call it, dead wood.
Yeah.
Culture wasn't, culture is everything, as people say in business, and groups. And you've been to Queenstown and met our guys. I'm proud as punch of our team culture and the family vibe we've got.
Yeah.
But that takes time, so I had to get rid of some people that were never going to fit, not team players and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And couldn't be happier with where we got that to.
What do you look for in the culture, or describe the culture for what people are? What are the key parts of the culture that you've built and always looking to build?
I think you know it when you meet it. I think most guys you meet, like I could happily say anyone in your organisation fits our culture, and I can tell that just straight after meeting them, you know what I mean? So it is most Kiwis and most people in our industry.
Yeah.
But then there are a few who don't want to follow any process.
Yeah.
If you're not careful, they just want the leads. They're not going to come to any meetings. They're not going to contribute anything to the group.
I'll break it down and I'll say it so I reflect, because I've done a lot of work on this just lately. So our purpose, building, great sheds, fulfilling dreams.
Yeah.
So we know that this is the dream for people, whether it's often a dream, whether it's a commercial shed, a stables, lifestyle, a shed house. So having a purpose is knowing that it's got to be the great shed.
Yeah.
Fulfilling their dream. And then just rack through some of the values that these are important for people, but I think this society-wise and culture-wise is lacking a bit, is not as obvious. Be the best you can be. So you don't have to be the best. I'm coaching with Chris, an assistant, again, the girls' first 11 hockey. I say it's the first training, be the best you can be. You don't have to be the best in the world, but you have to be the best version you can be. We're a high-performing team. You see so many cultures where we're a team player. And you're like, well, I like a high-performing team. We're a winning team, like there's always got to be the bottom, the cellar dwellers, It's like we don't want to be those. Attention to detail, is so important in the construction, as you have to,
Totally.
The attention to detail. What else? Be honest, play fair, go the extra mile. I think that's a big one. What's the fair deal? Who stuffed this up? No excuses. Take responsibility.
Yeah, cop it on the. You're always like people who say, "Look, I apologise. I got that bit wrong, or I did something wrong."
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. We made this mistake. This is the solution. This is where we can go for it. Yeah.
That's totally it. We changed, actually. That reminds me too, when I stepped into this role, sort of like a GM sort of role, the CEO at the time in Australia departed the whole group. Yeah. And so his 2IC Lee stepped up, and we changed. They had this vision statement that they'd say that just would never land. It was all about them being the biggest.
Yeah.
And we changed it to make a lasting and positive impact on anyone who comes into contact with Smith & Sons, because life is better with Smithies.
Yeah.
And that is on the wall of all franchisees. I'm training a new one in Taupo, and I'll be giving him a framed one of that.
Yeah.
And what that means, you always have to give an explain around it, is, Paul tomorrow, we want your life to be better because you're going to be a franchisee of Smith & Sons. But that we don't want just your life. We want your family's life to be better.
Yeah.
We want your customers' life to be better. Mm-hmm. It goes all through. We want your community's life to be better.
Yeah.
And last Friday I was down in Palmerston North. That's our biggest office. That's actually the biggest one in the whole group. And we had this I Am Hope fundraising golf day, and they just smash that stuff, man. They love their customers, but they really, really love their community, and they personify that vision statement so well. Had Mike King there. They raised just under 15K for I Am Hope. It was brilliant.
Nice.
You know what I mean? And so that's that in real life. So I'm proud of that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, just run me through it again. the purpose?
So it's to make a lasting and positive impact on anyone who comes into contact with Smith & Sons, because life is better with Smithies.
Yeah.
Smithies is what we call it. So.
To make a lasting and positive impact. What's very cool about that is that encompasses everything. That means suppliers,
Subbies.
Suppliers, subbies.
Customers, obviously, families, you come to our AGMs, there's kids running around everywhere. Clearly their life is better with their dad being in Smith & Sons, right?
And that's what, that's cool. Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing is... And that just makes, and then it's like we've talked heaps about it. Profitability just has to be essential and part of that. But it's not, we want to hit 32% margin, 18%, and honestly, you see so many corporate values and it's like to return excellent shareholder returns.
So many
like, wow.
I like that one because it's a bit different, and it makes people sort of understand. And that's, profits in behind that. I demand that the profit is imperative and I work hard every day to add value to them.
Yeah.
But their lives aren't going to be better unless they're profitable, right? No-brainer. So,
that's cool.
Yeah. So anyway, back to that story. So I worked for them 2014 to 2019. It was the project, I guess. Mm-hmm. But there was still a master franchise that owned sort of as an investment the South Island business, and there was one in the North Island. There were two separate groups.
Yeah.
And sort of we'd systemised everything. It was actually pretty good. The project was kind of finished,
Yeah.
So I resigned from that and first of all bought the North Island guy out. Mm-hmm. Then we went straight into COVID, a whole lot of debt and into COVID.
Yeah.
But that all worked out fine, and then subsequently bought out the South Island and properly amalgamated them together. So that was the last piece of the puzzle, really.
Yeah, nice.
And we've sort of gone from strength to strength, working on like the partnership with Waikato Sheds. That we're, it's in its early days, but that fits into our national contract sort of initiative. I do a lot of work in that space.
Yeah.
There's lots of companies that can't find anything quite like us. A network of builders.
Yeah, and so I'll speak to it and then you can do it. What I was looking to do, and so Waikato Sheds, we've been doing very well, 21 years in business this year, is Brian, the founder, and myself are often throwing around, it would be great to have a nationwide network of builders that we could go to. And we'd be like, how do we go and do it? We can go out, we get constant demand from other areas saying, hey, can I represent you in this area? And we can do it. You're like, yeah, but we don't want to just give our brand to anyone. And then how do we do it? And so this had just been floating around for a while. I'd seen and admired your brand from a distance and what the guys were doing. We did a project with Lane, who runs the Franklin branch, and really filmed the model as kit set shed house. So the clients had a design done up. Not by him, but they'd already had a plan. They'd gone to Lane, had priced it all out, and then they it was a shed house, so they came to us, and we just priced the kit set for what we could do. We were able to come in cheaper than what they could do it out of timber and all these other ways of doing it, because we're just experts at that part of it. Actually used our drafty rather than going back to the architect that had originally done it, because it was more economical for our drafty to redo all of the plans and redo it than going back to them to finish the working drawings, which speaks to the...
Yeah, what we were talking about before.
Yeah. And then that's been good, and now there's lots of other projects. But what we wanted to be able to do is be able to refer our clients to legitimate qualified builders nationwide that can go down, sit down through them and go, hey, this is all of the things that could be involved in this. I mean, some of it's simple, just build a kit set garage, but it's like, hey, this is what you could be up for, rather than, because I don't like seeing people sign up in our game either going and buying a lifestyle block or a section and not really knowing the full cost. It's like, hey man, you're going to get hit with driveways, septic tanks, water, water tanks. Hey, depending on your council, is you'll think, hey, I could get 30,000 litres from plastics, 3 or 4 grand each, They don't know they have to be buried concrete, and suddenly your 8 grand worth of water tanks is now 40 grand worth 100%. Of water tanks. Like there's just so many little things. It's going, how much will the whole project
That's
cost.
right. And I just love that feasibility study. Like,
Yeah.
think about that even in a shed build.
Mm-hmm.
You know, get some concepts, get us or you guys along there. And what else do I need here? Well, you need a retaining wall. There's a big driveway. There's power. There's phone.
And
like you say, there's septic. There's all the stuff they don't know.
And being able to partner and say, hey, we love doing shit, we love doing sheds. We've got some of our guys that do it here in the Waikato, but we've always need more because of the demand. But we can say, hey, you guys can do this, We don't do the retaining walls. Just like you said, I mean, we've got Mark, we've got qualified builders on our sub crews and roofers and, but our major focus is design, project manage, delivering of the building, not going out and doing the other stuff. And so being able to say, hey, we can hand that over, and then you can have legitimate, good quality Kiwi builders on site overseeing the project and getting it done right. So
exactly. And as far as I can tell, we're the only national solution like that. Because we're all built owned. It's a prereq to be a Smithies, right?
Yeah.
And so it's not just you guys. We've got a number of partners, and it's building year on year of people who are like, we want you to do our work through the country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. You brought it up before. If brands, as people are moving to larger brands and that, and I've got a few theories on this one. One, I think, is Kiwis say that they support the underdogs, but they don't. They support the All Blacks. And the All Blacks at the moment, people are a bit peeved because they're not true, let's be honest.
We're into a new era, though.
Yeah, we're into a new era. What's realistically happened is rugby has become an international sport. The professionalism is there's probably 15 to 20 now top tier rugby teams. So gone are the days where we could be like, well, the All Blacks are the greatest because we're the fittest team and the other guys are like, beer and pies at halftime type of thing.
Pick offshore players, I'd say, is...
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Gonna have to do it.
I would...
Take Richie Mo'unga any day.
Yeah, that's it. I would pick offshore players. I would ditch Super Rugby and I would go back to the NPC. You and I are both NRL fans. I believe the NPC could be the NRL of rugby. You've got distinct rivalry.
Yeah.
You've got tradition and history. It could go all season.
Yeah.
It would just be gold.
Totally. But I love the NRL, but I do fear that they're doing the same thing, albeit a few years later. I keep hearing them say, we want to grow the global game.
Oh, yeah.
Stop saying that. Your game's perfect.
Yeah, man.
And then they start tinkering with the rules all the time.
Yeah. I think, the NRL does it. There. And I think it's, don't kill the golden goose and don't be... that Kiwi and Aussie, you've lived that life. It's just because we're such charmers and we can go and take on the world and build in London and be friendly and be the number one kid at a Colorado high school doesn't necessarily mean that we should try and get our obscure sports. And when you think about any sport from a distance, they're all pretty stupid. Okay, so we grab an inflatable ball and get 26 or 30 dudes and we all chase it around to get over an imaginary line. And that's super serious to us, and bless it, I like it. But then people look down on Aussie rules, oh, that's dumb. Yeah. And it's like, well, isn't it pretty much like an inflatable ball, chuck it, they're all good, fun sports, but...
it's not going to take off in the States.
No, because you don't have the player, you don't have the provincial, you don't have all the infrastructure that's in behind it.
And also here, I'm a bit of this freaks people out when I say it, but we're stuck on trying to make the game into tiddlywinks a little bit, like lowering tackles and no one gets hurt. How come UFC can be a thing?
Oh, yeah.
That we're killing someone, you're basically choking them out the millimetres from death, and you're beating the absolute shit out of each other. Yeah, they're trying to take all that away from...
Oh,
you can have a little bit of violence in a ball sport. That's, you know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. I mean, we talk about this with Waikato Rugby, and it's like you want to make it safe for the kids to play for sure, Yeah,
and I'm talking about professional sports.
Like, let it flow out. You want people to be able to play it at a club level. You've got to take it into account. There's always going to be a level of danger to it. It's a contact sport. But at the professional male era and the females, God, man, they go hard as well. It's just like, let it be. But it's also, it's the same as the alcohol or the no drinking at the games, and they're trying to make it family friendly. And I'll tell you what's not ever family friendly, particularly for rugby, is it's the fucking price of it. As someone that's had, the wife and 3 kids, it's like, there's nothing family friendly about $200 for tickets to the rugby. Like $10 for a bucket of chips.
Look at cricket now. Like Eden Park back in the 90s was wild times at one day. It was absolutely brilliant. All day, couches on the terraces and all that stuff. They've just killed it.
Oh, I know. It's Jack, my son's down into, I mean, that's just a complete different. That's, we could talk about the over-regulation in the building industry, but the over-regulation in the partying industry.
The fun police, just get out of the way.
Yeah, the fun police have just shut it down. But all it is it's just turned it even to more debauchery in the private street parties now. I did that. I was gutted when I went down to Otago last year to catch up with Jack for his birthday as much. And there's no student pubs anymore. They've shut down every student pub.
But you haven't shut down students trying to have fun, so it just goes
now
elsewhere.
You've just got Castle Street, Leaf Street, all the blocks just covered in broken glass, and so there's no longer any bouncers. There's no one in checking anything.
Why'd they shut them down? Because the do-gooders.
The do-gooders are like, oh, we're going to reduce alcohol harm by shutting down the pub. Oh no, the kids are getting drunk, and you're like, at least there was a bouncer there checking the dodgy dudes that are lurking around, having a look out. If someone has too much to drink, someone can, The
do-gooders are just always on this perpetual myth that they're going to fix everything. You're not going to fix. It's like fixing bullying in schools. It's never going to change. It's the pecking order natural.
Yeah, it is. It's, you want to teach kids to be nice, but that's...
Of course. But you're not going to stop boys having a scrap, are you?
No, but never. You're not going to stop the kids being... Yeah, it is. It's just how humans just evolve, just banter and that. It's the same as what we see in the building industry. Is you want to regulate to a degree the good guys, but it's not Smith and Sons. It's not Waikato Sheds that are doing it.
No.
We always book every appointment. We tick every box. We screw every screw line. We do it, and then you look across the road. And you're seeing bloody trade tested selling, not up to building code shit. They can advertise all over social media, buy this cabin. It's not to code. It's not designed for New Zealand standards. People will throw it up, build it, and it's that. Yeah, it's
never going to change.
It's just never going to change. But you can't put more rules in place that are going to do that.
Oh, New Zealand just loves more rules, don't we?
Oh, yeah, well, that's always seems to be the answer to it is more rules, more regulations. Oh, that won't add more cost in time.
Are we going to get fuel rationing soon and the clipboarders will be out? Your number plate, young man, it's got the wrong last number.
What annoys, there's so many things that annoy me about the fuel thing, and hopefully that's over by the time we even release this one, but is the amount of people, the media that are behind it and that are fueling this obsession with it. It's the same thing as their obsession with the weather as being worse than normal. The weather's just always been bad, but they push this work from home narrative. That's what annoys me, is they push this narrative that's only for the privileged professional class. So the only people that can work from home are professional managerial people that journalists, councillors,
and
workers,
anyone on the
bureaucrats, and that.
They loved lockdown.
Exactly. They want a lockdown. They would happily have a lockdown all the time. They had to force them to go back to work. And so that's what they want to get, whereas you're like, well,
you can tell the media's gleefully pushing for lockdown, eh?
Yeah, they are. They want another lockdown. And it's
so upsetting
it's upsetting because you're like, all the factory workers, 11% of the GDP is manufacturing in New Zealand. You cannot manufacture it at home. You can't construct from home. You can sort of milk your cows in a sense, but, the truck driver's still got to pick it up. You've still got to do all of these things. The mechanic,
It's just not healthy to be stuck at home. The productive industry
of New Zealand isn't at home.
Yeah. No.
And it's the productive industry of New Zealand that pays the taxes somewhat begrudgingly, that subsidises the 35-40% of New Zealand that is the bureaucratic class that can work from home. So The vast.
The bureaucratic class just gets bigger and bigger. It's like an organism, right?
Yeah, well, if your job is to have meetings about meetings,
make rules, we need some more rules, and we had this budget last year, and unless we put a couple more people on justify it, we're going to, so we've got to grow.
Yeah.
They don't go to zero budget every year and have to justify anything. It's just more of our taxpayers' money for nothing.
Oh, yeah, more of the ratepayers' money. It's like the craziness.
And you just feel this malaise of attitude out there in New Zealand that's not winning. It's not a winning attitude. It's a loserous attitude, and it really upsets me,
Oh, it does, because there's not many of us left. I honestly feel that are trying to still push it, work hard, have a good time, productive, hustle, I
mean, what a time to be alive as far as opportunity.
It's the best.
It's the best.
It's the best. Like, that's the other thing, is people act like it's the end of the world.
People act like it's the worst. It's the opposite. It's definitely the best.
It's definitely the best. Outside of growing up in the 90s.
Exactly. All my London era. Every era I'm in, I'm like, this is the best.
Yeah, but it is. It is the best. It's the best time to do it.
But that's attitude, though, right?
It is attitude. And it's certainly the best time. I
drove all the way down here this morning listening to, I did about 3 different podcasts, but they were all about, in different ways, they were all positivity, business, enthusiasm. If I dared put it onto ZB, it would have just been like, oh, we're doomed, we're stuffed.
Yeah. No, we're not at all. I think so. For smithies or for builders, what would be your top tips for a builder? And I know endless of them that, describe the classic building company I see in New Zealand. One dude, maybe he's got a right-hand man, another builder on there. They've got an apprentice, maybe a labourer, and the wife's doing the books. Some version of
it's all versions of that, yep.
If you could give them some advice, lessons, what would you say to them to improve their businesses or do it?
Well, the most important thing I'd say is profit over.
Yeah.
Just not over everything, but profit is so important.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've got a tradesman mindset and looking at numbers and thinking that's too much, and you've just got to spend some time in understanding how much your business actually requires to grow and thrive.
Yeah. Yeah, and I wouldn't even take it as a tradesman mindset. I would take it as a scarcity mindset. Or just trying to drive this price down. I have it with the sales guys. It's like, it's just people. Luke Hemmings, it blew my mind when he put out a post, but there's $140 billion in New Zealand sitting in short-term deposits right now. There's so much money out there. If you can go and provide a solution and value, people will pay as we're being given it to them, and they'll be giving it back to me, but whatever. Be like, your shed's ugly, Jason. Bring it on. Architects comments on my post, that's ugly. I'm like, at least actually build something for a living.
Yeah, totally. Someone wanted it. Someone doesn't think it's ugly at all.
I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Is if they can charge that rate, if the accountant can charge that rate, like you can charge that rate. So if you're delivering the value and you're doing a good job, you're worth it.
You have to. It takes guys quite a long time to understand this, and they'll argue with you, and they'll try and say that the people in their areas are different. I get it in Smith and Sons when guys come on all the time.
Yeah,
but it is not about price.
No,
it doesn't have to be about price. If we so we'll often be pricing, say bathrooms are a big piece for us. We're going to win most of the bathrooms we do, and we probably are competing with a couple of other guys, but we're going to be the most professional and quickest to follow up to the lead.
Yeah.
We're going to give the most beautiful presentation.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have no PC sums in ours. We're going to be standard inclusions. You're not stuck to those, Mrs. Jones. We can change those afterwards. Just need once we get some commitment. We're going to have it all on fixed price.
Yeah.
We're going to present that price to them. The next steps. We're slick on our systems, and the guys we're competing against are slow, always slow. Have you got the other price yet?
Yeah.
Oh, still waiting. And then it comes through and it's just an email.
Yeah.
Or it's a Word doc.
Yeah.
And what is it? You know what I mean?
I'll tell you one of the
and we're 10 or 15% dearer, but I was reminded, I'm that type of buyer. I don't buy the cheapest.
No.
I don't go out and look for the cheapest, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm going for the good ones that are going to last me the test of time.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. We want a black dog furniture Barlina. We don't want the trade tested Barlina. We want to back the Kiwis that are doing a good job. We want it something that's cool.
Exactly. Not about price, about the quality that you feel in it. Yeah.
And we know, like, it is about the price, but you accept, you know, I think you're a Range Rover, you accept that you're going to pay a bit for a decent thing. It's like, I don't want the cheapest pie, you know, I don't know, like, I want a decent pie,
I want a nice pie.
I want a nice pie. If I'm going to go out for lunch, you know, I want a nice pie. It's like,
but you have to understand that and accept that as true and realise that's true and then work to it and understand sales.
Yeah.
And then it starts to come true. You can't be twice as price of the bathroom.
No.
But 15% there or 10% there is the difference between profit and no profit.
Yeah, 100%.
And rinsing and repeating over a year, that's, you know,
yeah,
makes a huge difference.
Yeah. And I think it's also, if we say it to the, just be very careful of what number you give away in the beginning, because that's always sets the expectation. So
bathrooms are easy. Extensions are not.
Yeah, and I always say that is because clients are, just give us a rough price. Give us a rough price. A rough price.
I won't hold you to it.
I won't hold you to it. And I'm like, I can guarantee you'll hold us to it. As
exactly
either if you don't know, it's like that is too complex and need to spend the time. But otherwise, it's like, well, depending on it and give it, and you can test the waters with them. But
we'll do ranges.
Yeah, I normally say, hey, how much for a normal shed? I'm like, hey, man, without any joinery, without anything else in there, if you want it built, 600 to 800 a square metre. Depends on the size of it. What are you looking at? Oh, I don't know, 100. Okay, well, that may be 60 to 80 grand. You know, like, how does that sound? You know? And if they're like, that's way too much, you're like, okay, well, you're probably not going to be able to afford the shed because that's entry level. So otherwise, we move on. But they will always take
the lowest number you set and hold you to it.
Yeah, and they'll just assume that that's the case. From a client point of view, I mean, you guys were the same. We're the same. Is we just work out what it costs and put the same margin on everything.
Yep.
And so when we ask for someone's budget, or if they say, can you give us an idea of what you're working for, we will then do our best to figure out how do we work within that budget to give you the most value for it. Not be like, I'm going to... Because we know you're not stupid. If you can buy a shed, you're not stupid. If you can do a home renovation, you're not stupid. So we're not dumb enough to think, if you say our budget's 120K, oh, sweet, well, I'm just going to take this 80K shed and sell it to you for 120. Because you'll be able to price check it. You know, you'll be able to talk around. Is that a fair deal? You know? So, but it's just like trying to be honest and upfront, like instead of builders, you know, people want to work. We want to deliver great sheds. We want to make people happy. We're not trying to have an adversarial, let's screw each other over relationship. If someone's been in the community as a long-term business, like any of us have, it's like, hey, we just want to have a pleasant, ongoing relationship. We want to charge enough to be able to pay everybody, pay the bloody government, you know, and then have a bit left over at the end of it. Maybe we'll actually go on holiday this year.
I got some good advice when I was young, and it has, you know, paid dividends over the years. There are some horrible clients out there that you don't want to work for.
Yeah.
And it can be a little bit hard sometimes, but one would be trust your gut, and two, just if you come out of a first meeting with someone and you're just not clicking, don't go there, because in renovations it's, you know, a bathroom's a month.
Yeah.
And an extension's 6 to 8 months. You don't want to be doing work for people that.
Yeah, you can say no to work. You can say no to clients.
You're better off to sit at home and watch bloody, you know, shed builds on YouTube than do that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, we've seen, we also see that, honestly, is the clients that are trying to screw you down on the price are the worst clients. And so we'll get a little bit, hey, that is the best price, or hey, you know, I'll give you $20 off of a 200 grand build. Like that's the type of thing might be like, if you're really that tight, you know, will $20 off help?
Yep.
The client at that point realized, okay, you're either in or you're out. But you avoid the ones that are going to try and screw it over, because also there's a decent chunk in New Zealand, I wouldn't say a large, but they have made their money or they train it by screwing people over. And
Yep.
so be aware of the client that's never going to pay their final.
Yep.
They're always late. And so they're going to be the ones that are maybe like, oh, I'm going to get multiple prices. You got to give me your best price and all that. It's
Exactly
like,
my point. Don't work with them.
leave them for the competition.
Yeah.
It's like, you sound like you want to go to X company.
Totally. Because if
I
you
would
do,
recommend them.
Yeah.
They are more your type of.
Yep. Exactly. So get good at looking out for them. You don't want to, they can ruin your confidence. They can cost you a lot of money, and the opportunity cost of being wedded to them for 6 months when you could be doing a job for someone at 3 different jobs for other people or whatever, you know.
Let's talk marketing for builders. We've probably got it. I'm going to do a quick time check. Yeah, should we just take a pause there?
Yeah, I'll take a leak.
Yeah, so. All right, we're back. Whether you even knew we were away. We're talking marketing. What sort of things?
So marketing for a small builder getting out on out on his own.
Yeah, and just what's working.
Yeah.
What's working? What are you seeing in marketing?
Well, so there's a few things. I think it's worth pointing out that most builders all do same here marketing, they call it.
Yeah.
So same here marketing is they've all drive around their vans and it says, you know, John Smith Builders, and then it's got the bullet points: decks, fences, extensions, new builds.
Yeah.
It just lists out, and then you go and have a look at his website, and they're all exactly the same, right? There's a little thing in the corner. It's all the same. So recognize that and try to look for something different. To be different is helpful.
Yeah.
That doesn't come into play for us because we're a large network with a marketing fund. So you know, our point of difference is design and build, I guess. But just recognise that most builders are doing same. They call it same here marketing or same me too marketing.
Yeah. Where do you guys put the marketing? Where are you guys seeing?
It's digital for us. I mean, it's the Google paid ads is just a huge chunk of it.
Yeah.
But it slowly changes over time because as a franchisee will start into his community,
Yeah.
the first few years is being just visually be the most around.
Yeah.
Okay, so sign written vehicles, slowly growing your fleet of those is helpful. Sight signs everyone does. You know, you can sort of, you know, I always tell the guys, like, judge everything you do. Just give yourself a little score out of 10.
Yeah.
There's a sight sign. Okay, I frame the sight sign, make it a bit bigger, and that's better. Now I frame the sight sign and I put a big teardrop flag in it.
Yeah.
Oh shit, there's everyone's looking at that.
Yeah.
It's just getting slowly more and more noticed. We reward and recognise our franchisees who are in the community. You know, Lane and Melissa and Franklin, they're just so involved in their community. Sponsor the Franklin basketball, they're calf club sponsors. They're just supporting Marlborough Rugby.
Yeah.
All sorts of stuff. Same with Manawa too. And that gets you noticed and trusted. You're always around. You're always there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just try and make a splash. Your social media is important. It's a weak spot for our franchisees. Kiwi builders, Kiwi blokes, a lot of them are stuck in the, I don't know, they're scared to get on the camera. They just don't like to be seen. I think it's a Kiwi thing. They don't like to be seen to be gloating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the younger generations coming through that's internet native, born with it, aren't so stuck on that. But my age,
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I think you sum it up with the gloating one is,
you know, we don't like
there's
skites.
a malaise that's happened in New Zealand over the last half dozen years as it's become really obvious. But it seems to exacerbated the not trying to show off what's done. And it's, if people don't know you're doing it, they don't know.
You can't sell a secret,
You
right?
can't sell a secret. Yeah, you can't sell a secret. But it's, you've got to be able to tell people, it's just be proud of what you do. There's another value is a Waikato, you know, the Waikato Sheds Way, which I modelled on the Holdreki Way, which is a great principle at the local store. But be proud of what you do and then tell people. Like,
Totally.
if you're proud, you know, I'd say if you talk to any of the builders and, I don't want to do that, and you're like, are you proud of the work you do? Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's
Well, I just think it comes from our culture and our growing up, and maybe it's an era thing. I think younger guys I can see don't have it anywhere as much, but certainly in my friend group and age, there was ruthless piss taking and
Yeah.
all of that stuff, and I think that makes guys a bit shy to be.
Oh, I think so, but I think you just got to be ready for it because we're in the same age era, you know, and I just don't.
You
just
totally.
You just got to be able to put it out there because the benefits of it are huge.
100%.
Mike, what were you saying? It's not social media anymore. It's media now.
Yeah.
This I just can't understand enough is like we have grown. It's almost financial year end, and we are up another 30%. You know, on last year's sales and revenue. In a market that's meant to be down, is social media.
Yep. 100%.
The YouTube channel, and I tell the story is. We did it. We worked in with Lane Franklin. We built this shed house. We co-promote it the whole time. Is then I reach out to you and say, hey, my name's Jace, you know, keen to work in, have a chat. You're like, we get on the phone. I'm already watching your videos, Jace. I'm already seeing the pole sheds. I know who you are. Let's can come to the conference.
And all totally by coincidence too. Like I'd click the two together, but I've already seen all your, know all your builders. You know, I walked in here this morning and met Glenn, was it? And I'm like, I already know you because I've seen all your videos.
Yeah, and it just means that we're already aligned so much more as we can know, hey, we already know who, you know, we know what's going on. We know the people. We started the same way. We just started with a few Facebook things and that, but we just had, you know, a bit of a laugh with it, but it's
massive.
It's just massive. We're just saying it's the traditional companies, traditional people, they're paying for the ads that sit on top of the content that we're producing. And then we're getting paid for that content. Yeah. It's phenomenal.
And so just take me, besides taking our partnership away from it, I've watched all those videos and I'm a landowner in the far north and I'm in the market for a pole shed, or maybe go a bit bigger into a steel shed. Because I've seen all those guys and seen how the business runs, I'm coming to Waikato Sheds. You've already set the table up for me to come and buy a few guys, and it's not about, even for me in the construction industry and, you know, all the stuff I know, it won't be about the price.
No. And that's what we find and there's an opportunity right now that you can still post for free. I think this window will be closed. I think that TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube are going to, at some point, charge businesses to post. It's like, at the moment, we're getting huge traction on Waikato Sheds, Shedlife, you know, the different forms, you know, one's for a podcast, even though we're sort of in the world of Waikato Sheds because we're mainly talking, you know, Smith & Sons and Waikato Sheds today. But at the moment, it's free for me to upload videos. I did the granny flat video, you know, the new rules come out, maybe it was 8 weeks ago. I uploaded that video for free.
Yep.
Over YouTube sends, we got about 75,000 views at a 5%. So they showed that to over 1 million people in terms of impressions. We got paid like 15. So that means they showed like 1 million people.
Yeah.
And 7.5% of them, it was over 1 million because it was like about 6% click-through rate for those in the know. So maybe 1.1 million they showed it to, 6.6% saw that thumbnail. Cheesy as Jace, big thumbs up. Yeah. I don't care. You know, like my heroes like the Mad Butcher and Mark Ellis, Michael Hill Jeweler, you know, like a violin playing introvert from Whangarei is suddenly wearing his suit and coming out of the ocean in a dive suit.
I've had dinner with Michael Hill.
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah. Great books. But we got paid maybe a couple of grand from YouTube. But what's more importantly is we've already got jobs that are coming out of the council now, you know, that have signed up hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions 100%. Of dollars worth of work will come from that. But how long, if you've got that, everyone's got a phone. So that is no longer a barrier to entry. The photos are good enough, is start putting it out there. And I was saying earlier is if you're a tradie in New Zealand, you've got good content. Every day you're going out there, you're fixing things, you're building things, you're doing stuff.
Totally.
I've done on the podcast with a few full-time content creators, and I find them a bit wounding that all they do all day is film themselves.
Yeah, there's not really anything
And
interesting.
I'm like, no, and even if they consider be funny or interesting, I'm like, are you really contributing to the growth of our society and community? Yeah. It's not in the same way that a tradie is.
And just back to that thing, like I said, most builders, if you look at them, they're doing the same here marketing. They've got a little bit of Facebook, but it's just a picture of a thing. It's not them. It's the human element that's the key factor here.
Yeah.
And then Mrs. Jones is getting to know you. She follows you because you're interesting, and you keep putting up the content. And when she wants that big $100,000 deck, she definitely wants to speak to you. She already trusts and knows you.
Yeah, that's it. It's just
you're halfway to winning the job.
And it's hard to do it the first few times, but it's just reps in the gym. You get better at it. The only thing that I would highly recommend to invest in is a pair of DJI microphones.
Yep.
That plug in. It's $300 or so from PB Tech. Then you get the voice quality, and then you can do it photo on photo, camera and camera.
You're dead right. They're on site. Their boys are there having smoko or working away. You can go up and tap them on the shoulder.
Yeah.
I had great plans of getting out and around, but the bloody busted legs slowed me down. But yeah, I'm always out and about with the.
Yeah, and I shouted out on a podcast, and it turned out he was like the brother or the brother-in-law. There's this one I'm watching up north, OTC or Auto Construction. Funny as I don't know, they came across. I just see them, and they're just always joking around on the camera, having a good time. You can be, was it Jonesy? The famous builder. Like you can be that, and just like you got to be profitable. Being it out there will just bring dividends to you. It's like you got to be able to go out there and talk numbers and prices with clients. Just be clear with it. It can be huge.
Yeah, totally. And you're competing against these old archaic companies like we were just talking about off camera, I think. They're still trying to put money into terrestrial TV or campaigns and newspapers and magazines, and just no one's interested in it, and stuff doesn't cut through anymore.
No, it just doesn't cut through.
And it still costs truckloads.
Still costs a fortune. It guts me as I watch our suppliers, I shout at bloody places. The tool shit, their tool sales, and you realise they're all doing a tool sale in whatever February or March. Like, how much money does it they pour into all the brochures, the marketing? Anyway.
Yeah.
Any questions, Mike?
And that time flew past.
Questions?
Yeah. No, not currently. Any comments?
I'd put a quick wrap in for myself. Any builders out there, we've got a great business model.
Yeah.
If you're old and successful and all of that sort of stuff, but if you are a young guy and sort of going around in circles, we've got partnerships galore. We've got systems galore. We've got, I don't sell a course. I don't sell the 10 silver bullets. This is an ongoing partnership. We're in it with you for as long as you're in it.
Yeah.
And end goal, I want our guys to have a valuable asset to be able to sell and retire back from and sell into their team and staff.
Mm-hmm.
So by all means get in touch and have a chat. I'd love to speak to you.
Yeah, where are you looking for in areas? Where have we got to film?
So the main points would be definitely over Hawke's Bay.
Yeah.
Hawke's Bay, Napier, Kirikiri, Bay of Islands would be another one. There's an good area, sort of Warkworth, Mangawai, Heads, just to the north of me. South Island's pretty much covered. West Coast, funnily enough, is an area that we get a lot of inquiry from. No one there. Kapiti Coast is another one.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, if you are, I can recommend it. It's like we got Mike, the Hauraki guy. He's doing work on our house at the moment. It's been good.
Yep, lovely couple, Mike and Hayley.
Yeah. It's been great. I got the vibe, just like you'd already known us via the video. I came down, I've known some of them, but the conference and that is just a huge bunch of good Kiwis.
Yeah.
And that's exactly, I was like, oh, these are just, All good.
Oh,
Sunburn.
we have the best time, I tell you. We do
Yeah.
actually have a lot of fun when we're together. So
Yeah, no, it's good. So good Kiwi, and that's what you want. You want a good, trusted Kiwi builder on your site. You know, like doing a good job, making sure it happens.
yeah, I couldn't be prouder. I'm very, very lucky and privileged to be leading all the guys, and you got to work hard.
Yeah,
But they do such a good job. I've very few complaints every year, and some of those are dick clients, to be honest. And some of them you drop the ball and you got to sort it out, and that's life. That happens.
yeah, and I think that's also cool. And I didn't mention it before, but two things. If something goes wrong, you still have a master, person you could go to when you're dealing with systems signs. But what I actually want is there's a real team and a high performing team. Is the guys don't want to let each other down.
No.
Is because, and that's the best. If you can get your sports team or your business team where people are more worried, people will do way more for their mates and their team than they will ever do for themselves.
Yep.
Is we let ourselves down every day. We don't get up on time. We don't go to the gym. We eat badly. We'll let ourselves down
You don't want to let your
every
mate down.
day of the week. But you never let a mate down.
Yeah.
You think of all the great, Kiwi heroes, and it's always they didn't want to let a mate down. They'll fucking drag him through fucking a kilometre of fucking enemy fire.
Yeah, you're exactly right. You don't want to be the guy in our network who lets the Waikato Sheds team down, as an example. And that goes into when a new guy joins us. There is this mentorship that happens naturally. I mean, I do a lot of it, but the other guys will happily show their numbers, put an arm around them, show them what they've experienced and all that stuff, because there is a genuine desire for them to succeed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we don't ever want to see another Smithy struggle or go down or whatever.
No.
So it works really well.
Yeah, and that's what you want to be working in with.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. It's the same thing we've got in our sales team here. They're all
Help each other.
Salary. They all make a bit of a bonus on the sale, but they want to see each other do well, because whenever that makes it better for everyone. When Bonnet sells a cool shed, that means Glenn can point to that shed and say that's Waikato shed.
Yep.
When Thomas sells a cool shed,
Same
it's
with
all
us.
just building it in together. So,
Yep.
and that just goes to that mindset of, hey, a growth mindset. Let's grow this together rather than we're fighting to the death over a single thing. Is because I think whether it's in the shed or the bathroom renovation game, there's not 1,000 bathroom renovations out there. There's not 1,000 sheds every year that get built. You've got to be able to convince people that now is the time that you can deliver their dreams, and now is the time to do it. It doesn't matter whether, it certainly ain't the 90s, whatever the latest war is, whatever the election happens, doesn't matter. The rules will be the rules. As now is the time to do it and enjoy life.
Yeah.
Because life is a very finite thing. We just often don't take it into account because we're only around living people. So, enjoy it and get it done now.
Yeah. And you just said growth mindset. That's massively important.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
The
Sum up
concept.
the growth mindset.
The growth mindset as opposed to the closed mindset. Growth mindset is doing a sales pitch, driving home and thinking, how did that go? 5 out of 10 on that, Reon. Could have done a bit better. Next time I'll tweak.
Yeah.
Next time I can do better than that. That's
Yeah.
growth mindset.
Yeah.
Just an inherent knowing that you can do better and get better.
Yeah.
Closed mindset is I suck.
Yeah.
I'll never get it and I suck at that.
Yeah.
Don't talk like that to yourself.
Yeah. Don't talk like that to yourself.
No.
Get on camera, describe what's going on.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. If you're really worried about it, don't watch it and just do it again. I don't watch heaps of the videos.
same. And just drop them and carry on. And people if it's you try and script it, it's a disaster.
Yeah.
Just drop and roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Posting guys, just so you can have a chat, give it a go. It'll be fine. We're Kiwis.
Yeah.
Have a joke.
Totally.
Awesome. Cheers, Reon.
Cheers, mate. Up the wires, eh?
Up the wires. You're going to be at the game on Friday?
I'm not going to be at the game, but I'll talk to you more about the Warriors. We've got some season tickets there, so a little giveaway for the Waikato Sheds team.
Awesome. All right.
Okay, mate.
Sounds good.
Cheers.